My roommate secretly used my lipstick when I found out. I sternly warned her this is not something you can touch. Instead, she played the victim and accused me of bullying. My classmates, quick to judge others' possessions, all criticized me for being too harsh. Isn't it just applying some lipstick? How serious could it be? I let out a helpless cold laugh. Ordinary people don't know this lipstick is meant for the dead. Once applied, it attracts vengeful spirits with overwhelming resentment. Zhang Shua, did you steal my lipstick? I glared and demanded sharply. Zhang Shua looked aggrieved, wearing an expression as pitiful as a fawn's. Moya, what nonsense are you spouting? Who would want to use your lipstick? The little pearls in her eyes plopped down one after another, making anyone who saw it feel heartbroken, but I wasn't buying it. I opened the lipstick and pointed at the scratches left by her chapped lips, enunciating each word clearly out of the four of us in the dorm. You're the only one with lips cracked like this. These marks might as well have your name written on them. And you still dare to say you didn't steal and use it. As soon as these words were spoken, the other roommates all turned to look. Seeing that the truth was out, Zhang Shua's face instantly turned pale. But the next second she suddenly burst into tears with a loud wah. Fine, I admit it, I did use your lipstick, she sobbed. It's just because today is my first date with my crush, and I wanted to make a good impression on him. So I snapped sharply, for fuck's sake, use your own lipstick for your date. Why did you have to use mine? Zhang Shua's tears fell like running water. But your Dior lipstick costs over $400 per tube. Yours is expensive. And of course I wanted to wear something nice for my date. I'm utterly shocked. When one has no shame, they become invincible. If it's expensive, I should use it. What kind of logic is that? She cried while apologizing. It was my vanity, Moya. Please don't hold it against me. Just forgive me this once. Zhang Shua made a big scene with loud complaints, and the drama lasted the entire noon, annoying the other roommates. The girl in the next bed, Su Pingping, frowned and said impatiently, Moya, that's enough. It's just a bit of your lipstick she used. Do you have to be so aggressive? Exactly, another roommate, Lele, chimed in calmly. She's already apologized. Don't push it just because you're in the right. We're all roommates. Let it go due to personal reasons. I often don't live on campus. Moreover, I don't enjoy making friends with living people. As a result, they have always treated me like a stranger. From what I know, these people often gossip behind my back, saying I don't live on campus because I'm not decent, but I don't care either. Originally, I came to this university because the energy here is strong, which suits my main job. I didn't come here to play sisterly love or house. Ignoring their shameless logic, I directly reached out to Zhang Shua. You use my lipstick, give me $400 to buy it, and we'll call it even. As soon as these words were spoken, Su Pingping and the others were instantly furious. $400? Moya, are you extorting us? Seeing this, Zhang Shua seized the moment while her roommates were speaking up for her, and burst into tears, looking utterly aggrieved. Moya, you don't have to be so harsh on me. You know my family's financial situation. $400 is my entire month's living expenses. I couldn't be bothered with her and impatiently shook my outstretched hand. $400? Zhang Shua, that's the price of this lipstick. If you knew you couldn't afford to pay for it, you shouldn't have stolen it. If Zhang Shua had the sense to compensate at the original price now, I might still find a way to make amends, but if she refuses to compensate, I really can't come up with $400. Zhang Shua shouted. Moya, you usually seem like a decent person. Who knew you could be so unkind? The roommates chimed in agreement. Exactly, you're really bullying her. Emojia. Where has all the education of today's college students gone? I let out a cold snort and lowered my outstretched hand. If that's how you want to see it, then there's nothing I can do. Leaving behind the words, I hope you won't regret this, I walked out of the dorm, entering the classroom for class. I noticed everyone giving me hostile looks, whispering about something. Just as I was about to sit down, two girls near my seat deliberately spoke loudly. Damn, how shameless. Zhang Shua just used a tiny bit of Moya's lipstick, and now she's being extorted for $400. Wow, talk about eye-opening. A rich kid extorting money from a poor student. First time seeing that. Could it be that she's jealous? Zhang Shua's makeup looks better than hers? Haha, so that's how it is. Zhang Shua took the first step, twisting the lipstick incident and spreading her version of the story throughout the class. Clearly I was the one whose personal belongings were stolen, so why am I the one being attacked now? The thief is the one playing the victim now. At that moment, a boy strode up to me and slammed the table with a loud smack. Hey Moya, I suggest you go apologize to Zhang Shua right now. Me, huh? When people are utterly speechless, they really do end up laughing. I asked him what should I apologize to her for. He didn't catch my sarcasm and instead took my words at face value, answering righteously, do you even need to ask? You're utterly lacking in manners. Zhang Shua merely used your lipstick for a bit, yet you took the opportunity to humiliate her. You're shamelessly extorting money from a classmate who's already in such a difficult situation. Don't you feel any shame? I watched the boy with great interest. Perhaps it's a cultural difference. Where I come from, we don't call compensation extortion. Meanwhile, Zhang Shuo stepped in promptly and spoke up in a soft voice. Qiang, don't seek justice for Moya for my sake. I'm fine. After saying this, she looked at me with a pitiful expression. Moya, let's just leave it at that. I don't care anymore. Wait a minute. The thief forgiving the victim, since when is that the latest trend? It's quite abstract, but I'm also a very polite person, so I smiled at her. It's okay, I don't blame you anymore. After all, who would hold a grudge against a dead person? As soon as these words were spoken, everyone froze on the spot. It was Zhang Shua's little lapdog who reacted first, pointing at my nose and immediately starting to curse. Moya, what the hell are you saying? Watch your mouth. Zhang Shuo too had tears streaming down her face. Moya, I know there's a misunderstanding between us, but there's no need to curse me. You're really too vicious. I smiled and said thanks for the compliment. Qiang was so angry that he chased after me to hit me, but I had already gotten up and left the classroom. The class monitor ran out and asked me where I was going. Where can I go? I'm the one who got robbed, and now everyone's after me. Can't stick around to serve you anymore. I'm off. Class had already started, and the stairwell of the old teaching building was eerily quiet. I stopped at the corner of the 4th floor. I greeted the approaching figure. 8th master. As the words fell, the phrase peace under heaven came into view. A man dressed in ancient black attire appeared before me. 8th master was undeniably stunning, yet the world always loved to spread tales of his ferocity. Leaning lazily against the staircase railing, he spoke softly. Since soul guiding bomb was used, how could I not come? He tilted his head toward the direction of my classroom, his nose twitching slightly. Suddenly, he realized something was amiss. Wait a minute. How was soul guiding bomb used on a living person? After just a moment of surprise, Lord Ba burst into wild laughter. Haha, interesting, very interesting. A living person used soul drawing bomb, and yet Miss Moya simply let it be. Do you want that person to be devoured alive by vengeful spirits? He looked at me with great interest, clearly ready to enjoy the show. I couldn't help but twitch the corner of my mouth. Fan Wuzhou, are you that bored the mighty black impermanence strolling around a university campus watching the commotion? Are you here to reminisce about your youth? Yes, the lord before me was none other than the famous black impermanence of the underworld. Fan Wuzhou. Lord Fan is for me. On the surface, I'm a college student, but in reality, I'm a ghost official who's lived for over 1,000 years. Our family business, we all make a living dealing with the underworld. In my family, each member's duties are meticulously categorized. My specific role involves dealing with the malevolent spirits that wreak havoc in the human world. When I work, I need to locate the original corpses of these evil spirits and apply soul guiding bomb to them. This object is extremely peculiar. The fragrance it emits after contact with a corpse will attract countless vengeful spirits, releasing a scent that ghosts find delicious. The torn remains of malevolent spirits shredded by these vengeful ghosts will inflict severe damage to the souls of the evil spirits. I then seize the opportunity to capture the weakened souls of the malevolent spirits and hand them over to Lord Ba. The 4 characters peace under heaven on Lord Ba's official hat signify that those who defy the law and bear guilt shall receive no mercy. Simply put, any evil spirit that falls into Lord 8's hands is done for. Over these thousands of years, I've already dealt with countless evil spirits for the mortal world. Gradually, I've also become more and more familiar with my superior Lord 8. The other ghosts in the underworld are all afraid to meet Lord 8, finding him terrifying and imposing, but in my eyes he's actually just a pretentious show-off who likes to scare ghosts. In reality, wherever there's fun, there he is, a total mischief maker like right now. But since Lord 8 is my boss, I still need to quickly come up with an excuse when dealing with the higher-ups. Just to clarify, I didn't apply the soul guiding bomb to her. She insisted on putting it on herself and wouldn't let me neutralize it. Zhang Shuo could never have imagined that the lipstick she had painstakingly stolen was no ordinary Dior lipstick at all. It was our ghostly official's crucial underworld tool, the soul guiding bomb. I had kept the soul guiding bomb in my bag, carrying it with me every single day without fail. But today, when I arrived at work and reached into my bag, I found the spot where the lipstick should have been completely empty. Rushing back to the dorm, I saw, oh boy, Zhang Shuo had secretly used it. Seemed she had long since fished this lipstick out of my bag, just waiting for me to leave the dorm to sneakily use it. How despicable! And because of the missing prop, I lost the chance to catch a major evil spirit. Ordinary people don't know that soul guiding bomb can be used on the dead, and naturally, it can also be used on the living. However, because the living have strong young energy, the soul guiding effect is weakened in general after a malevolent ghost's corpse is smeared with soul guiding bomb. The fierce ghosts attracted by the fragrance will severely damage or even tear apart the malevolent ghost's corpse along with its soul. My task is to capture the malevolent ghost's soul before it dissipates, imprison it in my treasure vessel, and finally hand it over to Lord 8. but if a living person applies the soul-drawing balm, it will still attract malevolent spirits, albeit at a slower pace. The malevolent spirits will still be drawn, tearing at the flesh and soul of the living person until they are utterly annihilated. Eighth Master was also drawn by the faint trace of soul-guiding balm on Zhang Shua's body. After hearing my account of the whole story, a flicker of surprise flashed in his eyes. It's rare to see something that can make even the mighty black impermanents feel intrigued. How bizarre. I've seen people seeking death and even those rushing to their doom, but never someone eagerly courting suffering while slowly dying. Forgot to mention Lord Eighth has a sharp tongue too, but this time because Zhang Shua took the initiative to steal and apply my soul-guiding balm. The karmic consequences now only involve her. Helping her won't be so easy. Besides, why should I help her from the very beginning when I asked her to pay the same amount as the price of the lipstick? I was actually helping her. I was taking the cause and effect of this matter into my own hands, making it easier for me to use the power of the ghostly enforcers to resolve and completely shatter the karma of this incident. Yet she turned around and accused me of extortion. Well, sorry to say, but having lived for centuries, there are two things I despise the most: playing the saint and dealing with ungrateful wretches. Since I'm no saint and the other party got no gratitude for their kindness, then let's just leave it at that. The karma she brought upon herself, she can settle it on her own. As I was thinking this, the eighth lord before me seemed as excited as a village gossip munching on melon seeds. Quick, take me to see. Even I, the mighty black impermanents, am curious. Fools really do provide the most entertainment. I was just estimating that the first fierce ghost should be arriving soon. Eighth Master moved swiftly, immediately flying toward the classroom. The first vengeful ghost has arrived. In an instant, the corridor lights began flickering violently. Ghostly aura, a ghostly aura so thick it chokes the air. Right after, a piercing scream came from our classroom. Old Eight's face was full of excitement. Quick, go see the fun. Me, do people know that you, the black impermanents, are this unprofessional? Actually, I'm not really in the mood to watch Zhang Shua's misfortune. After all, a fierce ghost tearing apart an evil ghost was never a pleasant sight to begin with. And now that the fierce ghost is coming for Zhang Shua, a living person, the scene is only going to get even more disgusting. Before I could refuse, eighth brother had already pulled me into the classroom. A strong metallic smell of blood. It was blood. Zhang Shua lay in the center of the classroom, blood gushing from her shoulder. Students stood in circles around her, keeping their distance, but no one was willing to approach her. Indeed, her classmates had just been willing to twist the truth and stand up for her because she appeared pitiful. But when real danger arises, keeping one's distance is only human nature. At this moment, the onlookers finally snapped out of it and began screaming in terror. The classroom instantly descended into chaos. Boys, quickly carry her to the infirmary. Holy shit, her shoulders suddenly started gushing blood. It's terrifying. If you want to carry her, go ahead, but I'm not doing it. You, how can you not help when a classmate is in trouble? You boys are stronger. What's the big deal about carrying her? You're so amazing. Why don't you go help her yourself? If you can't carry her, you could at least call an ambulance. At this point, the class finally started remembering one by one that Zhang Shua should be rushed to the hospital. The way humans shirk responsibility onto each other never gets old, no matter how many times I see it. Master BA covered his mouth, snickering quietly. Who says the human world is any different from the underworld? The news of Zhang Shua's injury spread across the entire campus. In an instant, the school's forum was thrown into complete chaos. Does anyone know Zhang Shua from the media department? Suddenly started bleeding heavily from her shoulder during class. What's going on, bro? Stop talking, you're scaring me. I was sitting not far behind Zhang Shua when her shoulder suddenly started spurting blood out of nowhere. Like something invisible took a bite out of her. The blood even sprayed onto my face. I still have nightmares about it. I can't talk about this anymore. I'm going to see a therapist. Holy shit, the school became lively because of this incident. But Zhang Shua was left alone in the hospital, enduring torment. Indeed, after everyone witnessed with their own eyes that Zhang Shua was bitten by something invisible. Who would dare to visit her? There was only one exception: Qiang, Zhang Shua's loyal close friend and mindless devotee. He arrived at the hospital carrying numerous bags. Zhang Shua, look, these are the get-well gifts from the whole class. Since too many people can't visit the hospital at once, I came on behalf of everyone. The whole class is really worried about you. In reality, these were purchased by Qiang himself to protect Zhang Shua's self-esteem. He deliberately lied, claiming the entire class cared about her. Zhang Shua didn't have much energy either and nodded perfunctorily. Qiang hesitated for a long time before finally asking, so what did the police say? Zhang Shua's eyes darkened as she let out a cold laugh. What could the police possibly say? You saw it with your own eyes. It's clearly not something the police can handle. Watching Zhang Shua's gradually dimming eyes, Qiang's heart ached with pity. Zhang Shua, if there's anything I can do to help, I'll definitely do it. As long as I can help you, I'm willing to do anything. Zhang Shua simply stared at the ceiling for a long time. Suddenly, as if she had thought of something, her eyes gradually brightened. She tightly grasped Kyung's hand. I can do anything, are you serious? Kyung was startled but genuinely delighted. He clasped Zhang Shua's hand in return and solemnly promised, of course, absolutely serious, just tell me what to do. Zhang Shua, should I fetch your change of clothes or request leave from school for you? A faint smile appeared in Zhang Shua's eyes. How could I let you do these things? It's just my request. Is a bit embarrassing to say. Seeing Zhang Shua mention an embarrassing request, Kyung stood up excitedly. I can do anything. Overjoyed, Zhang Shua grabbed Kyung's hand. Hey, no need to be so formal, just call me Xiao A. After speaking, she actually leaned slowly into Kyung's embrace. I watched the whole scene from the doorway. It was so awkward, I wanted to die. And I was just about to leave. Moya, wait a moment, it turned out Zhang Shua had noticed me long ago. Kyung, recalling the things I had said to Zhang Shua back then, spoke to me with clear annoyance. What are you doing here? Our Xiao Shua doesn't welcome you. But Zhang Shua completely ignored him, gritting her teeth as she struggled to sit up from the bed. She stared straight at me. Moya, let's talk alone. Xiao Shua, have you forgotten how she cursed you back then? I'm afraid you'll be in danger if you're alone with her. But Zhang Shua had her own ideas. Kyung, could you please step out for a moment? This Kyung shot me a resentful glare but still obeyed Zhang Shua's words and left the ward. Inside the ward, Zhang Shua and I were left staring at each other in silence. As soon as Kyung closed the door, Zhang Shua immediately gritted her teeth against the pain of her wounds and struggled to sit up. Moya, was all of this you're doing? Her eyes were filled with immense fear as well as hatred toward me. I wasn't the least bit surprised. After all, the classmates couldn't see anything, only noticing her shoulder bleeding. As the person involved, Zhang Shua clearly saw that malevolent ghost fiercely grab her and tear a chunk of flesh from her shoulder. I said calmly, I told you before that lipstick wasn't something you should have used. Zhang Shua's face turned pale. Are you saying that thing came because I used your lipstick, not because you cursed me? As she spoke, she grabbed my arm fiercely. I snorted coldly. Curse you? Who do you think you are to deserve my curse? After all, curses come with a price. Then you shouldn't have brought something like this just because I used your lipstick. People do tend to laugh when they're utterly speechless. If I remember correctly, this lipstick has always been in my bag. How did it just happen to fall into your hands right as I was leaving? And just happened to end up on your lips? Zhang Shua, do I need to remind you? Don't make it sound like I forced you to wear it. I did advise you against it. Zhang Shua pinched my arm hard and said excitedly, Moya, since this lipstick is yours, you should take responsibility for me. You don't want to see me suffer, do you? Ghosts are just too terrifying. I sneered. I gave you a chance, but you refused it yourself. I'm not some great philanthropist. Why should I help you? As if remembering something, she pleaded with me in a tearful voice. You said before that if I transferred you $400 this matter would be over. I'll transfer it now. I'll transfer it right now. Okay, forget 400. I'll give you 4,000. No, I'll transfer 40,000. Please Moya, I really don't want to die. As soon as the words left her mouth, Zhang Shua grabbed her phone and swiftly transferred $40,000 to me. Eighth Master, who had been watching the drama unfold, glanced at my phone screen and raised an eyebrow with an amused expression. Wasn't she supposed to be a poor student? Indeed, this is not the kind of savings a financially struggling student should have. Eighth Master truly lives up to his reputation as a gossip connoisseur. With a sharp glance at Zhang Shua, he instantly furrowed his brows. TSK, this money can't be accepted. It's tainted with heavy sin. To put it simply, it's blood money. I recalled how Zhang Shua had frequently been going out for a part-time job lately. Every time she returned to the dorm, she would boast triumphantly about closing another big deal. I glanced at Eighth Master. A case involving human life. Eighth Master nodded. No wonder the vengeful ghost could get so close to her and even harm her. Indeed, if a person walks the straight and narrow, their young energy can ward off vengeful spirits. So when Zhang Shua was directly bitten by the fierce ghost and lost a chunk of flesh, both Eighth Master and I were shocked. Turns out she was no different from the evil spirits, except she wasn't dead yet, that's all. I clicked refund on the transfer right in front of Zhang Shua. I can't help you and don't want to. Someone like you deserves to die. Moreover, the soul guiding bomb has already taken effect. Unless the 5-day time limit expires, no one can stop it during this period. Zhang Shua probably blamed all the faults on me. In her heart at this moment, she even jumped up from the bed, shook my shoulders and started cursing loudly. You cheap woman. Moya, you're just jealous that more people like me than you, that I'm prettier than you, and that's why you deliberately flaunt your expensive cosmetics in front of me, tempting me to steal and use your lipstick. You cheap woman, this is all your fault. You just wanted to harm me. I stared at Zhang Shua, stunned and speechless. She stole my things and yet it's still my fault. What a shameless act. It made my lips twitch. I couldn't be bothered to stoop to her level and was about to turn away when I noticed Eighth Master holding something in his hand. Wait a minute, something's not right here. Eighth Master was holding a soul hooking chain in his hand with a rare glint of murderous intent in his eyes. What is this woman talking about? Our Moya is clearly much prettier than than her. He turned to look at me. Moya, I just checked. This woman has committed too many sins and is already listed in the book of life and death. I can deal with her right now. No need to wait for the vengeful ghost to take care of her. The corner of my mouth twitched again. I immediately made a stopping gesture. 8th Lord, don't do this, don't do this. Also don't call me Xiao Yi, it's too cringy. Since Zhang Shuo is already tainted with the soul guiding bomb, let the vengeful ghost end her sin-ridden life. It suits her perfectly. Why bother having Lord Ba take action ahead of time? I'll have to bring wine to explain myself to Yama when the time comes. But thinking of this, I found it strange again. Since Zhang Shuo was covered in sins, why wasn't she torn apart by vengeful ghosts but only bitten once? Just as I was about to ask Lord 8th, Zhang Shuo suddenly screamed at me. Moya, who have you been talking to since just now? She glared at me fiercely, her expression so hateful it looked like she wanted to devour someone. Could it be that thing was summoned by you? You summoned it to harm me. As I watched the soul's snaring hook in Lord 8th's hand began to clatter ominously once more, I quickly stopped Zhang Shuo's words. You have no morals but quite a vivid imagination. Anyway, this is the fate you chose for yourself. I can't help you. After saying this, I turned and walked out, ignoring Zhang Shuo's screams in the hospital room. After all, the second malevolent spirit is about to arrive, isn't it? I really don't want to see any more bloody scenes after watching them for so many years. There's no fun in it at all. The next day at school, I could hear the students gathered together whispering and murmuring among themselves. It's terrifying. Last time it was the shoulder, and this time it's actually an entire thigh. It was even bitten off. I shrugged my shoulders. As expected, Zhang Shuo being torn apart by the vengeful ghost was only a matter of time, and the process would accelerate. But the next second, I heard something that surprised me. You said Qiang is really something, going alone to that eerie place in the middle of the night. Was he afraid he wouldn't die fast enough? Watch your words. I also heard from Qiang that it was Zhang Shuo who asked him to help perform a ritual at the cemetery. Who knows, maybe he was set up by Zhang Shuo. What, the one who lost a leg wasn't Zhang Shuo after all, it was Qiang. But I've seen that Qiang had very strong young energy. He previously stood up for Zhang Shuo because he firmly believed that Zhang Shuo had been bullied by me. It can only be said that he was foolish, but he wasn't bad and even had a sense of justice in him. Logically speaking, his young energy should have been enough to withstand the attack of a vengeful ghost. Moreover, the vengeful ghost should have targeted Zhang Shuo, so why did it attack him instead? Wow, look. Someone even took photos when Qiang was being loaded into the ambulance. Hearing this, I immediately rushed over. Show me the photos. The person was startled by me and said with displeasure, Moya, stop being so scary. We haven't even settled the matter of you cursing Zhang Shuo yet. Don't talk to her, be careful or she'll curse you too. My roommate Su Pingping glared at me and said sarcastically. I didn't have the patience to explain to them photos. Perhaps sensing my unusual seriousness, the person immediately showed me the photo just as I suspected. Qiang thought he was going to help Zhang Shuo perform a ritual to exorcise the vengeful ghost. In reality, the talisman he was holding was an ancient life for a life curse. If Qiang hadn't been tough, it wouldn't have been just a leg at stake by now. This Zhang Shuo is trying to make Qiang sacrifice his life to shield her from disaster. I let out a cold laugh and turned to look at my roommate Su Pingping. Don't talk to me, you must be mistaken if you truly want to keep your life. I advise you not to speak with Zhang Shuo. That's all I have to say. With that said, I left the classroom. Although Qiang shielded Zhang Shuo from the ghost's attack for one night, however, the 5-day effect of the soul guiding bomb hasn't ended. So the vengeful ghost's attacks on her won't stop. If you want to ensure your own safety, keeping your distance from Zhang Shuo is the best strategy. However, whether she takes these words to heart is beyond my control. This Zhang Shuo is quite resourceful. Fan Wuzhou's voice echoed in my ear. 8th Master, he continued, speaking to himself, this talisman is very ancient. I just went to check with Qiang, and indeed the aura matches the one on Zhang Shuo. I looked at him and our eyes met. You mean exactly? The heavy burden of sin on Zhang Shuo is related to this talisman, so that's how it is this way. Everything makes sense. It turns out that Zhang Shuo, as a financially struggling student, could have large sums of money because she was involved in schemes of murder for profit. When she encountered the vengeful ghost, she was able to quickly think of using Qiang as a scapegoat to save herself. Moreover, she even had such a perfect ancient life substitution talisman. The talisman on Qiang's body carried the same scent of sin as the guilt on Zhang Shuo. All the evidence suggests that Zhang Shuo's previous business involved accepting large sums of money to transfer people's sins onto innocent individuals. A life for a life. So when she witnessed the vengeful ghost attacking her with her own eyes, it was just a brief moment of panic. I suddenly felt a chill and asked Master Ba, how does Zhang Shua know such a talisman? The antiquity of this spell, indeed it's a forbidden art, it has long been lost among the common folk. Master Ba deliberately played mysterious, coughed, and continued, my men have already investigated it thoroughly. Zhang Shua started this business during her university years. You also know that your school has an extremely heavy yin energy surrounded by cemeteries, so some ghost cultivators lurk here to practice. That life-for-life talisman was taught to Zhang Shua by the ghost cultivator. I felt puzzled. Why go through all this trouble? Couldn't the ghost cultivator handle this themselves? Lord 8th gave me a rare flick on the forehead. Moya, are you truly foolish, or have you become dull from studying too much? I always said that going to college makes people stupid. Do you know why this spell became forbidden? Originally A was on the book of life and death, and they was supposed to die, but they bought B's life to die in their place. When the ghost officials saw the time was almost up and went to collect A's soul, they found A still alive and well, while B, who wasn't even on the book of life and death, was already dead. Doesn't that throw everything into chaos? If this happens too often, do you think the underworld would send someone to catch them? Right, that's the consequence of committing too many sins. Zhang Shua is a perfect example. 8th Master nodded and added, and it just makes more work for us underworld staff. Seriously, our jobs are hard enough as it is. What kind of people are they? I could actually sense a hint of resentment. No wonder he loves gossip so much. It turns out the work was just too dull. But don't worry, I've already taken care of that ghost cultivator. So Moya, shall we go see which lucky alumnus Zhang Shua has chosen to be her next scapegoat? I'll correct it. This guy must be a drama lover at heart. The next day Zhang Shua actually returned to class despite her wound not yet being fully healed. She cried pitifully, looking genuinely heartbroken over Qiang's injury, but I smelled an overwhelming pungent stench of sin. The scent of the soul-guiding balm grew even stronger. I knew Zhang Shua was getting desperate. Today was the third day she had applied the soul-guiding balm. Qiang's attempt to find a scapegoat failed, and today she must find the next victim, as I expected. As soon as she returned to the dormitory, she took out 2 gifts for Su Pingping and Lele. They turned out to be 2 Chanel lipsticks. She stammered, crying while telling her story. Previously, Qiang heard that I had a dispute with my roommate because I envied others using high-end lipsticks. So he insisted on buying 2 high-end lipsticks for me, but now whenever I see these 2 lipsticks I think of Qiang's suffering. And I really don't have the mood to dress up. Pingping, Lele, you've been so kind to me. These 2 lipsticks are still new, and I'd like to give them to you. I hope you won't mind. Lele's eyes lit up. Not at all, how could I mind? I understand how seeing this lipstick makes you think of someone, but Chanel isn't to blame. I'll use it for you so you don't have to feel sad looking at it. Su Pingping had initially wanted to keep it too. After all, her monthly allowance wasn't much, and she had been eyeing that Chanel lipstick for a long time. The one Zhang Shua handed her was even the shade she had wanted the most, but her outstretched hand hesitated. Suddenly, she remembered what I had said. If you want to live longer, stay away from Zhang Shua. I'll pass. I've got cheetahs lately, so I won't be wearing makeup. If Lele likes it, you can give it to her. Before Zhang Shua could respond, Lele directly snatched the lipstick from her. It's okay, Pingping, I can use 2 by myself. Su Pingping's face clearly showed discomfort, but she didn't say anything. In the afternoon, while Lele was alone in the dorm, I approached her and got straight to the point. Throw those 2 lipsticks away and make sure to toss them into the river or burn them. Don't tell Zhang Shua about this. But Lele gave me a look that clearly said, are you out of your mind? And snapped back loudly, Moya, are you crazy? What's your problem with lipsticks? Are you saying only you can have Dior lipsticks in the whole dorm and I can't have Chanel? Ridiculous. Oh right. Your Chanel lipstick contains a life substitute talisman. There was originally just one, but you went out of your way to snatch another one. Hard to say who's the real joke here. After sizing me up for a long while, Lele finally came to a conclusion. You're not thinking of using it, are you? You know me, I'm a bit of a neat freak, she sighed, and said helplessly, fine, whatever, I can give it to you when it's almost empty. But until then, don't even think about it. Before she could finish, I had already walked out of the dorm. Who would want to use your crappy lipstick even if it's almost empty? You'd need to be alive to use it. But after just a few steps, I turned back to the dorm. After all, it's an innocent life. I picked up the dressing mirror on the table and handed it to Lele, summoning the meager acting skills I've accumulated over thousands of years. Sigh, I've interacted too little with you all before I've realized that you're actually very straightforward, and I quite like someone as simple and genuine as you. Didn't you say before that this mirror was pretty? I'm giving it to you now. Hope you like it and can use it every day. Lele accepted the mirror with delight. Damn it, my limited edition Chanel compact mirror. When handing it to her, I cast a little spell on it. Just one look in the mirror would dissolve all spells, including that life substitution charm, so when applying lipstick looking in the mirror prevents the curse from taking effect. But unexpectedly trouble struck again so soon. This time it wasn't Lele who got into trouble, it was our department classmate Xiao Cici. Lele looked at Xiao Cece's corpse, the shade of lipstick on her lips filling her with terror. She came to find me. You told me before to throw away that lipstick. What was that about? What exactly was that lipstick? Speak, tell me now. Only when I asked around did I find out. It turns out that the money grubber Lele sold both the lipstick and the mirror right away. Xiao Cici bought a lipstick, thus he died suddenly right there. Blood streamed from all 7 orifices with not a single patch of skin left intact. It looked as if he had been torn apart with tremendous force. Another classmate also bought lipstick, but they bought a mirror as well, so everything was peaceful. If I had no money I could buy it. I should have bought the lipstick from Lele back then after being a ghost official for 1,000 years. You still can't let go of that little bit of kindness in your heart. What, haven't you realized yet that there's no difference between humans and ghosts? Lord Eighth spoke calmly from the side. Indeed, all of this is fate. I tried to persuade them, but I cannot control everyone's destiny. Nor is there any obligation to be responsible for the dead, but for the living I can still do something to help. I pretended to really want that lipstick and mirror, bought them back again, then lit a ghostly flame in my hand and burned the talisman. Of course Lele paid for it. After the tragic death of Xiao Cici she has become very obedient now, following my every word. That night before bed Lele secretly called me to the bathroom. Moya, don't stick to your pillow. After saying this she and Su Pingping quite tacitly decided to return to their hometown separately for a few days. The power of the soul-guiding bomb still lingers even though a sacrificial ghost has died in Jiang Shuo. The fragrance of the bomb will not fade because of it. This is the final day. As long as she endures through today Jiang Shuo will be free, but her mistake was setting her sights on me, pretending to know nothing. I climbed onto the bed and lifted the pillowcase to take a look. Sure enough, there was a trace of a hidden seam. Inside was wrapped a small piece of paper. A burst of laughter erupted around me. It was Eighth Master. Ha ha ha. This is a first. I've never seen someone try to scheme against a ghost official before. I looked at him with a helpless expression. First of all, you can't call it first because you're already dead. Secondly, could you please stop flying into the girls' dormitory without permission? Lord Eighth laughed so hard his abs were cramping, taking a long while to finally stop. How amusing, how amusing. So what's your plan now? I toyed with the paper slip in my hand. A cluster of ghostly flames rose from my palm, and the paper slip burned away without leaving a single trace. With the mighty Eighth Lord by my side, what petty ghost would dare act recklessly? Just grab your melon seeds and enjoy the show. Inside the tightly shut dorm room, eerie gusts of wind kept blowing in. I lay there pretending to scroll through my phone, but from the screen's reflection I could see Jiang Shuo staring at me with a malicious grin. Does she think I'm about to die? Pity her judgment is as unreliable as her brain. A sinister wind arose instantly, lifting the curtains, bed sheets, and everything inside the room. As I turned my head I saw a terrifying, ferocious ghost with a hideous face and disheveled hair passing through the tightly closed window. Even with psychological preparation Jiang Shuo was still greatly startled, but she immediately covered her eyes with the bedsheet, murmuring to herself, I am not me, Mo is me, Eighth Master. The fierce ghost looked at her, then at me, remained silent for a moment, and then looked at her again. No, are you kidding me? The fierce ghost opened its bloodthirsty mouth and lunged at Jiang Shuo. Jiang Shuo's body, which had been trembling with excitement, was instantly torn open with a large gash. The trembling ceased only for a stream of fresh blood to flow forth. Why come for me? You should be after Moya. Jiang Shuo let out a second heart-wrenching scream. The vengeful ghost suddenly halted its movements and turned its gaze toward me. Yes, that's the real me, you stupid ghost. Can't you see clearly before biting? That's Jiang Shuo over there. The words had barely left his lips with a sickening tear. Jiang Shuo's lower leg was ripped right off by the ghost. Greetings, Lord Eighth. The ferocious and menacing evil spirit now looked at Eighth Master with eyes resembling those of a frightened fawn. It seemed that Eighth Master's loud laughter just now had caught the evil spirit's attention. Eighth Master covered his mouth and continued laughing. You go ahead with your business. None of us had any intention of stopping him. This is the consequence of Jiang Shuo's own making. Jiang Shuo seemed to realize that her talisman had failed. At this moment she actually broke down in panic and started crying. Moya, you are so cruel. Are you only satisfied when I'm dead? Seeing me look at her with the gaze of someone staring at a dead person, she switched to a pitiful tone and said, I can see you have the ability. Saving a life is more meritorious than building a 7-story pagoda. You clearly can save me, so why won't you? Too bad Jiang Shuo simps weren't around, so no one was there to support her twisted logic. I looked into her eyes and said word by word, Jiang Shuo, did Qiang voluntarily choose to lose a leg? Did Xiao Cixi willingly ask to lose her life? Did those whose lives you took ever say they'd lived long enough? I stepped closer to her, revealing a shocking truth. Zhang Shuai, your sins are too many. Your time was already up today. You were meant to die. The only difference is by stealing my lipstick you chose the most agonizing death for yourself. With that, under Zhang Shuai's terrified gaze, more vengeful spirits came one after another. They tore her apart piece by piece until she could no longer utter a scream. This time it was even better. I didn't have to lift a finger. As Zhang Shuai's soul left her body, my superior grabbed it and took it straight back to the underworld. It is said that she would descend to the 18th level of hell. But this has nothing to do with me anymore. I snapped my fingers and instantly incinerated Zhang Shuai's blood-stained bedsheet. Things burned by ghost fire leave no trace behind. Finally, having not seen Zhang Shuai for too long, Qiang reported her missing to the police. But the case was ultimately closed as a disappearance, with too many incidents happening one after another at the school. Most students voluntarily withdrew, and the school, unable to sustain operations, shockingly decided to permanently shut down. The school gradually became an exploration site for some Douyin TikTok bloggers. One day when I returned to the school to collect my belongings, a blogger approached me for an interview. Is it true that this school is often haunted? What do you think about ghosts and spirits? I thought for a moment and solemnly advised my opinion is don't use other people's things carelessly. You never know if they were meant for the living.